What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here today to talk a little Magic the Gathering. Hasbro Magic the Gathering Wizards of the Coast has been the talk of the internet in the TCG / collectible space really for a while, but it has really ramped up over the last 2 or 3 weeks or so as Rudy from Alpha Investments and the collectors in general over the recent history have kind of declared war against the corporate overlords for overprinting for the Magic 30th, which is kind of really what kicked this whole thing off. For those not super familiar with Magic, essentially what Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast has had is something called the Reserve List, which is all the super expensive, powerful cards that were printed way back when the game first came out, just at a very high level. They came out years ago and said, hey, here is a list of cards we will never reprint. Basically ensuring the value of those older cards because it's a TCG. They would never be reprinted over and over and over and over again like you see in some other products. Now, everything else was fair game to reprint as much as they wanted to. That was perfectly fine. But these old school legendary cards, in most cases, not all of them, some of them aren't that crazy powerful, but those cards would never be reprinted. Fast forward to today, and they are launching Magic 30th Anniversary, which is a celebration of, I'm using air quotes, celebration of Magic the Gathering's 30-year history. And what do we have in this product but Power 9, among some other things? Now, these are not tournament legal cards. They aren't even standard card sized or card backs. They have different special Magic 30th Anniversary Edition backing on them. But this is something that they have never done in the past. On top of this, the pricing on this thing is insane. It's $1,000 for 4 packs. That's right. $1,000 for 4 packs. 4 15-card booster packs. So basically, you're going to get 4 rares, and then a chance, at some crazy stuff in there with, maybe a Black Lotus or whatever on the rare, some of the Power 9 or dual lands or whatever. But they're essentially like collector's edition versions of the cards. So between the reprinting of this stuff and the price point, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this is, to quote Rudy, this is money machine go burr on this because this is not that expensive of a product to make. And they're charging $1,000 for 4 packs of cards is absolutely wild. Now, these go on sale today. This countdown timer for you boys and girls will not be accurate. This is at time of recording. I believe these go on sale at noon today. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it is noon Eastern time for this product to release. And a couple things have happened. Because of all this, it has caused major backlash. Now, the backlash had been building. But to me, this product, along with the stance that Rudy has taken, has kind of been the spark to light the rebellion. I've been using that reference coming off of Andor, that this reminds me of, the spark that starts the rebellion against the Empire. And that's what this kind of feels like. This is the moment. This is the key moment that kind of pushed a lot of people that had been on the fence about just going full anti-Wizards of the Coast to making them jump the fence and say, that's it, we're going to war. Like, it's on now. And, they have their own personal investments on this. Don't get me wrong. It's not all for the righteousness of the community. A lot of these people have a large amounts of inventory and money tied up in vintage Magic products, vintage singles that have always been protected under this list. In addition to this, what else has been going on is just insane overprinting on the Magic the Gathering side. Much like we're seeing in the sports card industry as well, they have ramped up production. And it's not necessarily just like we're making more boxes of cards. we're making more different sets or different types of boxes for the same release. For example, in the past, you would literally just have a booster box and maybe some starter decks, and then there'd be some small ancillary products. But of the key actual product, you would basically have the booster box as that was pretty much it. The booster box comes out, that's the hobby box equivalent. That's what everyone went for. Then they rolled out set and collector's boxes. Collector's boxes is where all the shiny stuff is packed into. They're a premium product, short print variants, full arts, all this different nonsense gets thrown into the collector's box for basically just added shiny stuff. Imagine going to buy a box of Prism basketball, but it was guaranteed to basically just be loaded with all color. That's what a collector's box would be. The set boxes have older cards in them from what's called the set list, which is essentially non-reserve list cards, but could still actually be some pretty decent cards, get randomly inserted in the boxes so you have a chance to kind of pull some older cards out of there as well. What we've been seeing is that the market can't handle all this. One, sets are coming out more frequently, and then two, they're just ramping it up with all these different box types coming out, and the market cannot support it, between whether it's wallet fatigue, anti-sentiment towards Magic, whatever the case might be. There's too much product hitting, and it's causing prices to tank almost immediately. And then on top of that, Hasbro's partnered with Amazon, and they've been doing, the world famous Amazon dumps now, where they put this product on Amazon at just drastically discounted prices, and essentially you're undercutting all the LGSs, your local gaming stores. This is putting downward pressure on the LGSs because they're buying this product for full price. It's not selling, and then Wizards comes out and sells it for 40, 50, 60% off in some cases, randomly. And then now the LGS is kind of left holding the bag. They spent all this money on product, and they're immediately having to take losses on it if they want to move off of it. And we've seen, and some of the stuff's not even selling at discounted prices. Wizard had Dominaria United draft boxes up on Friday for Black Friday specials at, I believe it was like $79 or something like that. And that's less than what an LGS could buy them for from distribution. And they didn't sell out. They just sat. Like, there's nothing special about those boxes. That's the other problem. The regular booster boxes have now been watered down, that people really don't want them. Like, why would you pay $100 for a booster box when for a couple bucks more you could buy a set booster box, which has added juice in it, has special things in it? Or on top of that, you have the collector's boxes. So it's watered down the draft boxes, but prices have also increased on those because they just recently went to a price increase. They also have these jumpstart boxes that have come out that nobody cares about at all. Those things are dirt cheap and continue to fall for all the recent releases. So the whole thing is just a disaster. And now, like I said, the collectors are kind of rising up against Hasbro / Magic the Gathering to kind of, boycott or take back their hobby, or, whatever you want to call it. And then once again, the LGSs get kind of caught in the middle here because, what are they supposed to do? And overall, it's causing the entire product line to suffer, while Wizards doesn't seem to care. Now, we'll see how this 30th anniversary thing goes over. There's already been, the Tinfoil Hat Brigade is working overtime on this one. Does it sell out, or does it air quote sell out? This is going to be a situation where, oh, look at that, it's been up for a couple hours, it's time to sell out, making it look like there was a bunch of demand for the product when there really wasn't. We'll never know. Think of it on the sports card side, if you're coming to this video from that side of things, like the Panini Dutch auctions. There's always been accusations of, once it reaches a certain number, Panini just marks it as sold out, even though it didn't actually sell out, to protect the floor pricing, and then just sell off the rest of the first off the line stuff or whatever to their distributors. But it helps protect the floor price by making it look like it's sold out at a higher price. In this case, they could put this thing up. The profit potential that they make on this is absolutely astronomical. So they could put this up for an hour. They could sell 40% of their inventory and still make an absolute killing, market as sold out, and then kind of trickle these things out through back channels if they want to, or save them for some future, I found these in the basement type situation. The other fun twist on this is, which there's been multiple videos on this across different channels, the sentiment of the community is so toxic against this product that Wizards is going to influencers from other card games, specifically Pokemon and I think Yu-Gi-Oh! And a couple others, to do advertising deals with them, like sponsored videos with them to talk about this product. No Magic channel will do it, at least that I've seen or heard. No one wants to do the video because they know the backlash from their viewer base will be massive, and they're going outside of that community to other card influencers in the TCG space to get them to make videos on it, because maybe they don't really know what's going on with this. And a few people have done it and got major backlash. There was, I believe it was a Pokemon influencer did one, or maybe it was Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't remember, but they pulled their video down and issued an apology video because the backlash was so bad about it. Like, that's where this product's at. Now, we'll see how quickly does it sell out later today. What does it look like on the secondary market once they sell out? Do these things have a big market for them? What do the singles go for? Watching box videos is going to be interesting because you get absolutely brutalized on this product if you whiff on your 4 rares. So interesting times in the Magic world. I dove in on the Black Friday sales. If you're going to discount boxes to a certain point, like I got Midnight Hunt draft booster boxes, which is a bad set and a bad box, but they were like $55 a box. At that point, I'm willing to buy the dip and see what happens with them. That's not that much to put out for a booster box of Magic. Hell, worst case scenario, if it does nothing, I will just one day gather my friends together and we'll just draft it. Like that's the worst case scenario for the product. So very, very interesting day. I'm sure it'll be fun times on social media. If you're in that space, I'm sure Rudy from Alpha Investments will have a bunch of fun videos out, depending on how this thing kind of goes down today, but something worth keeping an eye on. And once again, we see a lot of parallels to this in the sports card space. That's all I have for you guys and girls. I don't know that I'll do a follow-up video this week on it. Maybe we'll briefly touch on it next week when we kind of talk about the non-sports card / comic book stuff, typically on Mondays. But smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't. We will catch you guys and girls on the next one. Peace.